Welcome back to Fatal Crime Confessions. We are a weekly true crime podcast where we discuss the evil, the sinful, and the inhumane. I'm your host, Ray Monique.
And I'm your co-host, Michael Banks.
So we have a few house announcements that we need to go over before we get into today's case.
Yep.
So we do have a Patreon account. If you don't know what Patreon is where you can become part of the FCC crew and be a confidant.
Gang, gang.
We have 3 tiers, which are the evil. It's a $5 a month membership. The sinful, $15 a month membership. And the inhumane, which is a $25 monthly membership. And each tier has their own special extra goodies that you will receive each month, which are like getting an extra bonus episode, helping us select what cases from the suggestions that we will do. You can participate in Q&A episodes. You get discounts on merch and a whole bunch of extra goodies. So head over to patreon.com/fatalcrimeconfessions. If you have any questions regarding it, feel free to DM us on Instagram at Fatal Crime Confessions. Our second house announcement is make sure you head over to our website and submit a case. It really helps us to know what cases you find interesting. We don't want to keep doing the very known cases because we know all these other true crime podcasts are doing it. So we want cases that will help us stand out. So if you can head over to fatalcrimeconfessions.com and submit your case, it could possibly be one of our next upcoming episodes. And let's get right into today's case. Today we'll be talking about Catherine Mary Knight.
Catherine Mary Knight.
And this actually takes place in Australia. We're not talking about the crazy people in the United States.
Down under?
She's actually known to be one of the most bizarre murder cases in Australia.
Wow.
So I have a question. You know, I like to start off with questions. Do you like gamey meats?
Not necessarily.
Do you like stews?
Yeah.
Stuff with carrots and potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's gonna change.
Wow.
You're not gonna like that anymore. So, Carrie Mary Knight was the first Australian woman to be sentenced a life imprisonment without parole. She was convicted of the murder of her partner, John Charles Thomas Price.
That's a long name.
This happened in October 2001, and she is currently detained in Silverwater Women's Correctional Center. So let's talk about her upbringing. Catherine's father was named Ken. He was an alcoholic who was very violent and intimidating, and he actually raped her mother up to 10 times a day.
What?
Yes. First of all, that's a lot.
Yeah. Even consensual, that's...
Yeah. Did he not have a job? Like, I'm really confused. How did you have time to rape this woman 10 times a day? And people have the nerve to say married people can't get raped. That's a lie.
That's a lie.
So, Catherine claimed that she was frequently sexually abused by several members of her family that were not her father, which continued until she was 11 years old. So, not only was your father a rapist,
The entire family.
Okay, the whole family is full of rapists. Oh my gosh, could you imagine if everyone in your family was a rapist?
No, I couldn't.
And you're the only sane one?
Well, she wasn't too sane.
Oh, well. In terms of rape. Oh, wait. Never mind. I scratched that. I God. The whole family was full of rapists. So, at 15, she left school. She didn't know how to read or write. And she got a job as a cutter in a clothing factory. I didn't even know that was a job. I didn't know someone just solely cut fabric.
No, I didn't either.
12 months later, she left to start what she called her dream job, which was her dream job was working at a slaughterhouse, where she quickly promoted to boning and she was given her own set of butcher knives. She hung her knives over her bed so that they would be handy if she needed them.
Wow.
This actually continued all the way up until she was incarcerated. She did this everywhere she lived. How on earth do you sleep in peace with butcher knives hanging over your head?
I don't know.
Catherine first met one of her co-workers, David Stanford Kellett, in 1973, and she dominated him.
What you mean by that?
They would get into fights, and she would abuse him, essentially.
Wow.
She was renowned for offering armed combat to anyone who upset her. She ended up marrying Kellett in 1974 at her request, with the couple arriving at service on her motorcycle with a very intoxicated Kellett on the pillion. Kellett said that her mother, Barbara, why can't I talk? Her mother, Barbara, gave him advice, which was, the old girl said to me to watch out. You better watch this one or she'll fucking kill you. Stir her up the wrong way or do the wrong thing and you're fucked. Don't ever think of playing up on her. She'll fucking kill you. And that was her mother talking. She told me she's got something loose. That she's got a screw loose somewhere.
This lady's crazy.
Would you if my mom told you that on our wedding day, would you still marry me?
I mean, I don't know. I'll be prepared to kill you just in case.
What?
If you try to kill me, it's me or you. I'm off you first.
Why would you still marry me? My mom said, say something wrong to her and she's gonna murder you.
I mean, who knows? Mom could be joking. I mean, that's probably what he was thinking.
Well, he was already getting his ass whooped. It wasn't far-fetched.
Well, first off, I want him to get my ass whooped.
On their wedding night, she strangled him. She said that it was because he fell asleep after having intercourse 3 times.
I mean, damn. I mean, why do you want from the guy? He tired. His back hurt. Got cramps in his legs now.
Well, she gets it from her father.
Yeah, see.
The marriage was considered to be very violent. On one occasion, while she was pregnant, she burned all of his clothes and shoes before hitting him across the back of his head with a frying pan because he had arrived home late from a darts competition after making the finals.
Wow.
Kellett fled before collapsing in a neighbor's house, and he was later treated for a badly fractured skull. Police wanted to charge her, but
he didn't want to press charges. I would have got her sent to jail.
No. She was charged.
Oh.
But he told them to drop them because she was on her best behavior at the moment.
Yeah, whatever.
May 1976, shortly after giving birth to her first child, Melissa Ann, Kellett left her for another woman and moved to Queensland. because he was unable to cope with Catherine's possessive, violent behavior.
That's no surprise.
But I would have took my kid with me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't leave my kid with her.
Agreed.
The next day, Catherine was seen pushing her newborn baby in a stroller on Main Street, violently throwing the stroller from side to side. She was admitted to St. Elmo's Hospital, where she was diagnosed with postnatal depression and spent several weeks recovering. Once she was released, Catherine placed 2-month-old Melissa on a railway line shortly before the train was due, then stole an axe, went into town, and threatened to kill several people.
How was she? They know this lady should not be on the street.
A man found and rescued Melissa only minutes before the train passed. Catherine was arrested and again taken to St. Elmo's Hospital, but she apparently recovered, and she signed herself out the hospital the following day. First of all, see, this is how you know times have changed. Slightly, thank God, because she would have been on a 72-hour psychiatric hold. Ain't no signing out of nowhere, bitch. Like, what are you signing out of?
Yeah, they'd have kept her.
And they would have kept her past the 72 hours because she freaking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Days later, Catherine slashed the face of a woman with one of her knives and demanded she drive her to Queensland to find Kelly. The woman escaped after they had stopped at a service station. By the time the police arrived, Catherine had taken a little boy hostage and was threatening him with the knife. She was disarmed by the police, and they attacked her with brooms, and she was
beat her ass.
and she was admitted to a psychiatric hospital.
Bro, ain't no way you let this lady come home after that.
But they do. Catherine told the nurses she had intended to kill the mechanic at the service station because he had repaired Kellett's car, which he allowed him to leave, and then kill both her husband and his mother when she would kill both her husband and his mother when she arrived to Queensland.
Wow, this lady is crazy.
When the police informed Kellett of what happened, you're not gonna believe what this dude did. He left his girlfriend, and along with his mother, they both moved to Aberdeen to emotionally support Catherine.
Emotionally support? I'd have moved further. I'd have left Australia.
Well, first I would have left, grabbed my daughter, and left.
Yeah, she'd have never seen me ever again, or my child.
Catherine was released on August 9th, 1976, into the care of her mother-in-law and Kellett. They moved to Woodridge, a suburb, where she obtained a job in Dymore Meatworks. First of all, I wouldn't let her near no more knives.
No, never again.
On March 6, 1980, they had another daughter, Natasha. And in 1984, Catherine left Kellett and moved in first with her parents, and then she went to a house where she ended up renting. First of all, if I was Kellett, I'd have been like, good riddance.
Good riddance. I mean, if I was Keller, I would have never seen her again in my life.
True. But at the moment that she finally left him, he probably was so distraught. Like, why would you leave me? Catherine met 38-year-old minor David Saunders in 1986. A few months later after meeting, he moved in with her and her 2 daughters. Catherine soon became very jealous regarding him when she was not around and would often throw him out. In May 1987, she cut the throat of his 2-month-old dingo pup in front of him. It was an example of what would happen if he ever had an affair before going on to knock him unconscious with a frying pan. First of all, she don't need no more frying pans.
First off, at that moment, I just feel like, at this moment, I'm about to beat your ass because I feel like I need to defend myself.
You can't. You're already knocked unconscious.
No, I'm talking about when she killed my dog.
But after she kills it, she knocks you across the head with a frying pan.
I mean, but she had to get close.
In June 1988, she gave birth to her third daughter, Sarah, which prompted Saunders to put a deposit on a house, which Catherine paid off when her workers' compensation came through in 1989. Catherine decorated the house with animal skins, skulls, horns, rusty animal traps, leather jackets, old boots, machetes, rakes, and pitchforks. No space, including the ceiling, was left uncovered.
Wow. This, I mean, like, you couldn't tell that this lady was off.
Clearly not.
Who decorates their house with all that stuff?
First of all, after you hit me with a frying pan, I ain't putting no down payment on no house.
Yeah. And then she basically turned your house into like a slaughterhouse.
Like, first of all, I doubt she had friends. But if she did, and I was invited to her house, the moment I saw any of those things I just listed, I'm turning the right back around and leaving. Because I would literally think...
You can't turn around, though. So you got to walk backwards out the door.
Yeah, because she hit people in the back of the head with frying pans. But I would think that I would be in Texas Chainsaw Massacre if that was the case. So, after an argument where she hit Saunders in the face with an iron before stabbing him in the stomach with a pair of scissors, he moved back to Scone. Saunders took long service leave and went into hiding. Catherine tried to find him, but no one would admit to knowing where he was.
See, I'd have killed her. It's either me or her.
No, because then that's premeditated. You have to do it in the act when she doing something to you. If you
I'm pretty sure if she found me, she was going to try to do something to me. So I'd have killed her.
Several months later, he returned to see his daughters and found that Catherine had gone to the police and told them that she feared for her life from him.
Wow! And he was the one hiding from her.
They issued her an apprendi violence order against him, which is like our restraining order, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But you know that happens all the time where the abuser will get a restraining order out against the victim. It happens all the time.
It's crazy.
In 1990, Catherine became pregnant by 43-year-old John Chillingworth.
Pregnant.
And she gave birth to a little boy this time named Eric. Their relationship lasted 3 years before she left him for a man she had been having an affair with while she was with Chillingworth. This man was John Price. John Price was the father of 3 children when Catherine had an affair with him.
So She broke up her family?
Hmm?
She broke up her family, or was he already single? And he broke up a family.
No. They were both in relationships. His 2-year-old daughter remained living with his former wife, but the 2 other children lived with him. Price was well aware of Catherine's violent reputation, and she moved into his house in 1995. You ain't coming nowhere near my kids if I knew half the stuff that she did.
I'm not even messing with you if I know what you did.
His children liked her, supposedly. And he was making a lot of money working in the local mines. Even though they had violent arguments, at first, life was, according to them, a bunch of roses. That's what the research said. In 1998, they had a fight over Price's refusal to marry her.
I would have married her ass nigga.
In retaliation, Catherine videotaped items he had stolen from his job and sent to his boss. The items were out-of-date medical kits that he had took, but the company was already going to throw them away.
Yeah.
He was still fired from the job, and what sucks is he had the job for 17 years.
Until they meet this crazy.
A few months later, Price restarted the relationship, although he now refused to allow her to move in with him. Fights became even more frequent, and most of his friends would no longer have anything to do with him while they remained together. I wouldn't either. Because what if I was sitting there and she's like, I'll kill all y'all. All of who?
Yeah. Man, you ain't killing me.
In February 2000, a series of assaults on Price, with Knight stabbing Price in the chest. Finally fed up, he kicked her out of his house. First of all, you already knew what she does. Did you think you were going to be the one to fix her? Did you think you wasn't going to be the next one to get stabbed? Like, I'm confused.
Who knows?
On February 29th, he stopped at Scone Court on his way to work and took out a restraining order to keep her away from both him and his children. That afternoon, Price told his coworkers that if he did not come to work the next day, it would be because Knight had killed him.
Well, I mean, like, this guy knew, like, this crazy chick would kill me.
Well, he should have been knew before he got in a relationship with her.
Yeah.
His coworkers pleaded that he not go home, and he told them he believed she would kill his children if he did not. When he arrived home, he found Catherine had sent the children away for a sleepover at a friend's house. First of all, I would have changed my locks. She wouldn't have been able to get into my house. He then spent the evening with the neighbors before going to bed at 11. Earlier that day, Catherine had bought new black lingerie. She later arrived at his house while he was sleeping and sat watching TV for a few minutes before having a shower. She woke Price and they had sex, after which he fell asleep. At 6 a.m. the next morning, the neighbor became concerned that his car was still in the driveway. And when he did not arrive at work, his employer sent a coworker to see what was wrong. The neighbor and the coworker tried knocking on his bedroom window to wake him, but after noticing blood on the front door, they alerted the police, who arrived at 8 a.m. The police broke down the back door. They found his body, with Catherine comatose from taking large numbers of pills. She had stabbed him with a butcher's knife while he was sleeping.
So she was trying to kill herself?
Why you say that?
She took all them pills.
I think they took the pills, that's why he ended up having sex with her.
Oh.
They didn't say what kind of pills she took. According to the blood evidence, he had woke up and tried to turn on the light before attempting to escape, and Catherine chased him through the house. He managed to open the front door. That's how the blood had got there, and he had stumbled back inside, or he was dragged back into the hallway where he had finally bled out. Later, Catherine went into Aberdeen, which is one of the cities, and withdrew $1,000 from his ATM. According to his autopsy, it revealed that he had been stabbed at least 37 times in both front and back of his body, with many of the wounds extending into vital organs. Several hours after he had died, Catherine skinned him and hung the skin from a meat hook at the door to the lounge room.
What the fuck? She was butchering him.
She then decapitated him and cooked parts of his body, serving up the meat with baked potatoes, pumpkin, zucchini, cabbage, yellow squash, and gravy in 2 settings at the dinner table.
Who else she was gonna feed it to?
She left notes beside each plate, each having the name of one of Price's children on it. She was preparing to serve his body parts to his children. I wish y'all could see Michael's face.
Yo, this lady. No, she needs a death penalty too.
A third meal was thrown on the back lawn for unknown reasons. They speculated that she had attempted to eat it but could not, and this has been put forward in support of her claim that she has no memory of the crime. Price's head was found in a pot with vegetables.
She turned his head into a stew.
That's why I asked you, do you like stew? Pot was still warm. They estimated that it was between 40 to 50 degrees Celsius, which indicated that the cooking had taken place early in the morning. Sometime later, Catherine arranged the body with the left arm draped over the empty 1.2-liter soft drink bottle with the legs crossed. This was claimed in court to be an act of defilement, demonstrating Catherine's contempt for Price. Catherine had left a handwritten note on top of a photograph of Price, blood-stained and covered with small pieces of flesh on the note.
Disgusting.
Like, did she hate his children? Like, why would you feed them their father? I'm glad they didn't actually end up making it home.
This lady is beyond sick. She need to be put down.
Not put down. Catherine was initially offered a plea guilty to manslaughter, which she rejected, and then she was arraigned on February 2nd, 2001 on the charge of murdering Price, to which she entered a plea of not guilty. First of all, why was she offered manslaughter? Clearly this was planned out.
Yeah.
It's not like he had just, like, she had killed him and then they went to sleep. She woke back up, skinned his body, chopped his head off, made him into stew, plated him, wrote notes to the kids, threw pieces of him on the lawn, hung his skin up like it was decoration. Like, what part of that was manslaughter? When the trial was over, Justice Barry O'Keefe offered the 60 jury prospects the option of being excused due to the nature of the pictures that were used as evidence. Only 5 of them accepted to be excused. First of all, why do they have 60 jurors? That's a lot. I don't know. Maybe because it was high profile. If anyone's from Australia, you're listening, let us know why y'all have so many jurors for y'all trials. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, it is.
So the witness list was read to the jury, and after that, a lot of them ended up wanting to be excused as well. Her attorney decided to speak with the judge, ended up causing the jury to be dismissed, and Catherine changed her plea to guilty. I guess it was too graphic that no one wanted to sit trial.
That's I don't even have words for it.
So it was made public that Justice O'Keefe had been advised of the plea change the day before he had dismissed the jury.
Mm-hmm.
He had ordained the trial and then ordered a psychiatric assessment over the night to determine if she understood the consequences of a guilty plea and if she was fit to make such a plea. Her legal team had planned to defend her by claiming amnesia and disassociation, which would have been supported by most of the psychiatrists, although they did consider her to be sane. Two of the psychiatrists that examined her diagnosed her with borderline personality disorder, which is a serious mental disorder that can cause sufferers that have unstable behavior and moods, and people with the disorder are prone to impulsive and often experience intense anger and depression. Although multiple of the psychiatrists diagnosed her with BPD and PTSD, the mental health professionals deemed her as sane and that she was fit to stand trial. The judge who sentenced Catherine accepted that she had BPD. He said that the diagnosis did not explain the time and the full circumstances of the killing, which come from factors not associated with borderline personality. There was no reason given for the guilty plea, and she still refused to accept responsibility for her actions. At the sentencing hearing, her lawyers requested that she be excused to avoid hearing some of the facts, but the application was refused. Why she gotta be excused? She knows she did.
She was full away what she was doing.
Like, nah, sit there. Sit there and eat your food that you try to serve other people. Sit there. One of the people that took the stand was Dr. Timothy Lyons, and he described the skinning and decapitation, and that she became hysterical and had to be sedated when he was testifying. On November 8th, Justice O'Keefe pointed out that the nature of the crime and Knight's lack of remorse required a severe penalty. He sentenced her to life in prison and refused to fix a non-parole period in order that her papers be marked never to be released. This was the first time that has ever been imposed on a woman in Australian history. In June 2006, Knight appealed the life sentence, claiming that a penalty of life in jail without possibility of parole was too severe for the killing.
What?
Justice Peter McLean and Michael Adams and Megan Latham dismissed the appeal in the NSW Court of Criminal Appeal in September. McLean wrote, "This was an appalling crime that was beyond contemplation in a civil society." So she's still in prison.
What she needs to be.
I don't know. I kind of this sounds terrible, but I kind of blame him too.
First off, she would have had no way to get in my house. Secondly, once I saw she in my house, it wouldn't have been, oh yeah, let me just go take a nap. No.
Like before that though, there would have been multiple times beforehand that I would have stopped the relationship.
Yeah.
It's very interesting what people think is a good decision. And also, like, did he not ask her, like, what were your other relationships like?
But then you say, like, he knew? Or was that not him?
He was well aware of what she was like. He just, I guess, didn't care. Thought he would be able to fix her. Or she would change for him. Whatever foolishness he thought.
Yeah, he was wrong.
I wonder, like, where his kids are now. Like, what do they think?
I wonder the same. Like, this lady literally cooked and ate our father.
But not even that. Like, what did they think when they found out that she wanted to serve them a bowl of their father? Like, what was their reaction? And it's crazy because they ended up liking her. So it was like a slap in the face to them.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And nowhere said how old his kids were at the time. So I wonder if they were younger or older.
I mean, I'm assuming. I'm assuming roughly teenagers. Cause he was what, like, he was an older guy, middle-aged guy.
His youngest was 2 years old though. I don't know what the age gap was between the youngest and the other two. I bet that ex was like, good thing my younger one was with me.
I know, right?
Because there would have been no house to send the younger one to. Well, that's all for today's case. Don't forget to check out fatalcrimeconfessions.com to see any pictures and notes and sources that we have listed. And don't forget to submit a case so that we can look up more unknown, probably even unsolved cases that you would like us to hear. And thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for listening to the Fatal Crime Confession podcast. Check back next week for a new episode. You can also find us at fatalcrimeconfessions.com or on Instagram at Fatal Crime Confessions. Please subscribe, rate, and comment to express how much you love the content. Thank you.